indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the absence of clergy, I ask everyone present to please bow your heads in a moment of silent prayer and reflection. Reading of the journal.
In Senate, Sunday, March 6th, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The journal of Saturday, March 5th was read and approved. On motion, Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal will stand approved as read. Presentation of petitions, messages from the Assembly, messages from the Governor, reports of standing committees, reports of select committees, communications and reports of state officers, motions and resolutions. Senator DeFrancisco.
Yes, Mr. President, on page 25, I offer the following amendments to Calendar 247, Senate Print number 4909 by Senator Croce, and ask that said bill retain its place on the third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bill shall retain its place on third reading.
Would you please recognize Senator Valesky?
Senator Valesky.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Senator Savino and on page 23, I offer the following amendments to Calendar 217, Senate Bill 3243, and ask that said bill retain its place on the third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bill shall retain its place on third reading. Senator DeFrancisco.
Senator Gianaris.
Senator Gianaris.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Senator Panapinto, I move the following bill be discharged from its respective committee and be recommitted with instructions to strike the enacting clause, Senate Bill 6551.
It is so ordered. Senator DeFrancisco.
Yes, there'll be an immediate, emphasized, immediate meeting of the Rules Committee off the floor in room 332 of the Capitol. And please, everyone, go directly there so we don't keep everyone waiting. Thank you.
There is an immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332. An immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332. The Senate will stand at ease. Senator DeFrancisco.
The standing committees, I believe there's a committee of the there's a report of the Rules Committee at the desk.
There is a rules report before the desk, and the Secretary will read.
Senator Flanagan for the Committee on Rules reports the following bills. Senate Print 6747A by Senator Ravella, enact amend the education law. Senate 6854 by Senator Laval, enact amend the education law. And Senate 6914 by Senator Funke, enact amend Chapter 58 of laws of 2015. All bills reported direct to third reading.
Senator DeFrancisco.
I move to accept the report of the Rules Committee.
All in favor of accepting the Committee on Rules report signify by saying aye. Opposed? The Rules Committee report is accepted.
Could you now take up the non-controversial reading of the calendar?
Secretary will read the active list non-controversial reading.
Calendar number 101 by Senator Ranzanoff for Senate Print 2583, enact amend the not-for-profit corporation law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 59.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 121 by Senator Marchone, Senate Print 6431, enact amend the real property tax law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 59.
Bill is passed. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Okay. Just
We were on calendar number 121. Secretary will re-announce.
in relation to calendar 121, ayes 58, nays 1. Senator Espaillat recorded the negative.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 123 by Senator Marcelino, Senate Print 383, enact amend the vehicle and traffic law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect on the 60th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 59.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 165 by Senator Ravella, Senate Print 888A, enact to amend the volunteer firefighters benefit law.
Last section.
Section 3, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 59.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 171 by Senator Marchone, Senate Print 5857A, enact to authorize.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 58, nays 1. Senator Bonasek recorded the negative.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 173 by Senator Croce, Senate Print 6627A, An act authorized.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 58, nays 1. Senator Bonasek recorded in the negative.
Bills?
Duration of calendar 173, those recorded in the negative are Senators Bonasek and Larkin. Ayes 57, nays 2.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 174 by Senator Boyle, Senate Print 2936, enact amend the Agricultural Markets Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Boyle to explain his vote.
To explain my vote, the need for this piece of legislation was recently highlighted in a tragedy in Florida, New York, and Montgomery County. Denise Cronin and her family returned home at 8:30 in the evening to find that their two golden doodle dogs, Kirby and Quigley, had been shot dead by a burglar who had just come into their home in the hour preceding that. Assemblyman Jim Sidisco has sponsored this legislation over in the Assembly, and my good friend and colleague, Senator Amador and Marchione, are some big supporters here in this House. I can tell you that for many of us, our pets are a member of our family. And to strengthen the criminal penalties for anybody who commits a crime, who injures an animal in the commission of a felony, should be charged with greater penalties. This bill will put them in jail for 2 years and fine them up to $5,000. I strongly vote in the affirmative and urge my colleagues to do likewise.
Senator Boyle to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Amador to explain his vote.
Legislation, and thank Senator Boyle and Assemblyman Tedisco. And as Senator Boyle mentioned, on February 17th, just a few weeks ago, the Crone family came home. They found their house robbed, and they found their two family members, their golden doodles, shot dead at gunpoint. Now think about it. An unspeakable act of crime. The perpetrators are still at large. Happened in my district in Montgomery County in the town of Florida. A nice rural, quiet, quaint county and town. This bill here will make a big difference. And on behalf of the Crone family, which just 2 Saturdays ago, we had a public event which over 400 people showed up in support of the loss of the family members, as well as bringing advocacy for much needed, tougher, stronger penalties, as this bill would do. So thank you, Senator Boyle, and to Assemblyman Tedisco. I vote in the affirmative.
Senator Amador to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Ayes 59, nays 1. Senator Montgomery recorded in the
The
negative.
bill is passed.
Calendar number 184 by Senator Little, Senate Print 6650, an act authorized.
Last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect July 20, 2016.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 197 by Senator Avella, Senate Print 712, enact amend the corrections law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 213 by Senator Laval, Senate Print 224, enact amend the education law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Kruger to explain her vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to explain my vote no on this bill. It's an interesting proposal because on the one hand, it's actually calling for transparency and explanation of who's going to pay for what when you change rules in higher education. But I would argue the only way I could justify supporting this bill is if we actually applied the same rules to ourselves whenever we're passing a law outside of the budget that increases a cost to the locality, and we don't apply this to ourselves. In fact, we barely meet the standards for fiscal notes, so I don't see how we can apply this to someone else. I vote no, Mr. President.
Senator Kruger to be recorded in a negative. Announce the results. Senator Hoylman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to explain my vote. Just to follow up on what my colleague said, it's questionable whether this bill itself should have a fiscal note. It's a little ironic that it doesn't. And I was just counting at least 3 votes in the last couple of weeks that should have had fiscal notes. One, to provide property tax exemption to commercial horse boarding operations, another to create a permanent racing fan advisory council, and yet another to rename a portion of the state highway system as the North County Craft Beer Trails, none of which have fiscal notes. If we're going to impose this rule on the regents, as Senator Krueger aptly said, we should do it ourselves. I'll be voting no.
Senator Hoylman to be recorded in the negative. Announce the results.
Relation to calendar 213, those recorded in the negative are Senators Avella, DeLon, Hamilton, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Krueger, Montgomery, Perkins, Persaud, Rivera, Sanders, Serrano, Squadron, and Stavisky. Ayes 46 and Ayes 14.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 215 by Senator Montgomery, Senate Print 965, enacting the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 120th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 58, nays 2. Senators Croce and Murphy recorded in the negative.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 216 by Senator Ritchie, Senate Print 1796B, enacting the education law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 90th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 218 by Senator Marcelino, Senate Print 6503, enacting the education law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 90th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Bonasek to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I certainly support this bill today. I've supported it in the past. You know, everything is about transparency for us. Anything we do, any financial reports we file, asking for more and more transparency for elected officials and accountability. And now, I read in the paper that the Board of Regents wants to allow illegals to become certified teachers. Now, I, for one, don't support giving illegals the right to vote. That's a right for legals. And I sure as heck don't want to see illegals certified as teachers. If it's argued that there's a shortage of teachers in a specific area, then we can raise the salary in those areas to entice lawful applicants to apply for those teaching jobs. So for all of those reasons, and if the Board of Regents would have to post these things, it wouldn't be a surprise on all of us, and people could come in and weigh in on how they feel, like I'm expressing my feeling on the floor. Thank you, Mr. President. I vote yes on the
Senator
bill.
Bonasek to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Espaillat to explain his vote.
No, I wanted I'm rising, Mr. President, to get to ask a question of
Senator Espaillat, we're on explanation of votes right now.
Well, let me just to explain my vote. I don't know what the previous member of this chamber meant by the term illegal. Some feel that anybody that's a human being, doesn't have any papers, is undocumented. Others may want to call them illegal. But I know that the New York City Board of Education and the State Department of Education have for a long time, for many, many years, recruited teachers outside of our borders. When there has been a scarcity of, for example, bilingual teachers, because we do not have enough certified bilingual teachers, they've gone to Spain, to Chile, to the Dominican Republic. They've even gone to the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico to recruit teachers that would then train our children in bilingual education. I know that even when there is a scarcity in an area, a discipline of great need like physics or a particular part of science, that the New York City Board of Education has gone abroad to recruit teachers that may be trained in those particular areas. So I don't know whether my colleague is referring to those teachers that came from abroad through a process, a formal process established by the Board of Education, or someone that may have come here and just overstayed their visa like I did as a kid. And maybe at that time I was undocumented, certainly not illegal. At least I'm not illegal right now. So I just want to, I wanted to get some clarification on this particular bill, because the Board of Education in the City of New York and the New York State Department of Education have a long-lasting policy of recruiting educators from abroad whenever there's a scarcity here in our state or in the country. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Senator Espaillat. How do you vote? Senator Espaillat, how do you vote?
I will be voting in the negative.
Senator Espaillat, to be recorded in a negative, has indicated that the vote is being conducted and we are in explanation of votes. Announce the results.
Ayes 58, nays 2. Senators Espaillat and Latimer recorded in the negative.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 222 by Senator Klein, Senate Print 1947B, enact amend the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Fuentes, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Klein to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to be brief, but I urge my colleagues to support this legislation, which is entitled Aaron Merin's Law. Aaron Merin has been spending the last couple of years fighting for a piece of legislation in every state of the union to simply educate young people about the telltale signs of sex abuse. Aaron was abused as a child by a neighbor, a cousin, and she has turned her life around through educating the public nationwide. Unfortunately, right now in New York State, we're a little antiquated when it comes to educating young people about sexual abuse. Right now, we still use what's known as stranger danger. Don't get in a car with a stranger, don't take candy from a stranger. I think most of us know that the majority of individuals who sexually abuse young people are usually those who you know. Family members, in some cases teachers, caretakers. So I think it's important that we sort of update our method of educating our young people. And this is not what's known as an unfunded mandate. We're giving school districts the opportunity, if they choose, to opt into this program. Unfortunately, this bill, and I thank my colleagues here, has passed the Senate. This will be the 5th year in a row. The Assembly has yet to take it out. So I'm hopeful that this is the year and we finally update our laws and protect our young people in making sure we teach our children properly about sexual abuse. Thank you, Mr. President. I vote yes.
Senator Klein to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Montgomery to explain her vote.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I rise certainly to support Senator Klein's legislation, but I would like to say this, that I have introduced for many years, and I still believe that there is an opportunity to do so, and this would really improve greatly this particular legislation. Senator Klein's bill would require that schools instruct children in child abuse prevention, and I certainly agree with that. But I also have legislation that would require schools to offer appropriate instruction in sex education, broadly speaking, appropriate for every grade from kindergarten through the 12th grade. So it would be for the entire life of those young people. And I have also advocated very, very furiously for the expansion of school-based health clinics, where we would have a professional staff that would in fact be able to implement Aaron's Law, as well as to provide sex education, to provide health, preventive health, mental health, to young people in our schools, and it would improve greatly the prospect of young people having access to health care in our state, in the state of New York. So I am supporting this legislation. I vote yes, but I would like to see if we could work out a way that my ideas about sex education and a way to institutionalize a good health care, education, and health providing system in our schools. So, Mr. President, with that, I vote aye.
Senator Montgomery to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
Aye, 61.
The bill is passed. Senator DeFrancisco, that completes the non-controversial reading of today's active list calendar of March 7, 2016.
Yes, I believe we have a supplemental calendar number 16A, and I'd like to just take one bill off that supplemental calendar, and if you please call up calendar number 316.
The Senate supplemental calendar 16A is before the House, and the Secretary will read calendar number 316.
Calendar number 316 by Senator Lavelle, Senate Print 6854, enacting the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Secretary will announce the results.
In relation to calendar 316, those recorded in the negative are Senators Addabbo, Breslin, Comrie, DeLon, Espaillat, Gianaris, Hamilton, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kennedy, Kruger, Latimer, Montgomery, Penapinto, Peralta, Perkins, Persaud, Rivera, Sanders, Serrano, Squadron, Stavisky, and Stewart Cousins. Also, Senator Diaz. Ayes 37, nays 24.
The bill is passed. That completes, Senator DeFrancisco, the non-controversial reading of Senate Supplemental Calendar 16A.
I'd like to lay aside calendars 315 and 317, lay aside for the day.
Calendar number 315 and 317 will be laid aside for the day.
Would you please recognize Senator Ort for a brief introduction of some important people that are with us today.
Have some order in the House, please. Senator Ort.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome some students from Barker High School in Niagara County who have left sunshine and 75-degree weather in Niagara County to come here to Albany and learn how our government works, how our state government works. They spent the afternoon with Assemblywoman Corwin in the Assembly, learning how that House functions, and now they are here in the Senate chamber watching the proceedings here today. And so I'd like to thank them for being here. I hope they take away something from this experience, and I'd like to thank the teachers as well who are here, who have accompanied them, who are doing a great job as well. So thank you, and I'd like to extend privileges of the House. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Ort. We welcome the teachers and students with us today, and we extend the courtesies of the House to you. Senator DeFrancisco.
Could you now please recognize Senator Gianaris for another important announcement?
Senator Gianaris.
Mr. President, we have yet another birthday among us today. Please wish a happy birthday to Senator Mark Panapinto.
Happy birthday, Senator Panapinto. Senator DeFrancisco.
Any further business at the desk?
There is no further business before the desk.
That being the case, I move to adjourn until Tuesday, March 8th at 3 p.m.
On motion, the Senate will stand adjourned until Tuesday, March 8th at 3 p.m. Senate is adjourned.